Welcome back everyone to 3D modeling a Hobbit Door scene with Blender 2.9 and Adobe Photoshop. Now let's actually work on these hinges. So what first I'm going to do is press tab just to get that off. Then I'm going to bring in a cube. So Shift A, mesh, bring in a cube. Let's pull it out and pull it up. And now I just want to get this into kind of the shape of an actual hinge. So I'm going to press S to scale it in and then S and Z just to pull it out a little bit, something like that. Now to make actual hinges, well, basic hinges is very easy. All you tend to do is this what I'm doing here, and then we'll press Control R. So bring in edge loops. I'm going to bring in 3, left click, and you'll notice when you do left click, then you can freely move this around. But I want them bang in the center, so all I'm going to do is click right click on my mouse, and that will drop them right in the center. Now with these grabbed, I'm going to press Control B, pull it out, something like that, and then you'll notice that we've actually beveled them off, but it's beveled them off in a flat way. And now all we'll need to press is E, enter for extrude, S, and pull them in. And there you go, you're starting to get your actual hinges. And now all we need to do is just bevel these off again. So I think that I'm going to bevel them off on each of these corners here. But before I do that, I might as well mark my seams. It's going to make it much easier. So what I tend to do is I come up to edge select, and I'm going to go down each of these sides. So Alt, Shift and click, right click, and come down to where it says mark seams. Now, I want them opening up all the way around here, and this space is going to be hidden within the wall. So now let's think how we're going to do this. So if we open it here, for instance, right click and mark seam, and then I'm just going to work my way around. So Alt, Shift and click, going all the way down here, like so. Oops. And then this side, this side, and of course the bottom. And then what I want to do is right click and mark seam. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on these backs. I don't need these actual seams marking, so we're going to take those off like so, and that should be absolutely fine. So let's right click and clear seams on those ones, and now let's actually unwrap these. So we'll grab the whole thing, we'll press U, unwrap. And you'll see down here, object as non-uniform scale. So that means what we need to do is press the tab button, Control A, or transforms, right click, set origin to geometry. And now let's try again to unwrap them. So go back into edit mode, U, unwrap, and now you've got no issues there. Let's now press the plus button, press the down arrow, and what we're going to look for is dark metal. So let's bring that in. And then what we're looking for is just to make sure that you're happy with it. Let's go over to our UV editing panel. Press the tab button and let's zoom out and just make sure they're all in the right way. You can see they're probably a little bit too big on this UV map. So I'm going to grab them all, shrink them down like so, and just make sure that you're happy with them. And finally then, now I've got them in place, I want to bend this. So I want to bend it to get it in place. So I'm going to press 1 and I'm going to press Shift and Spacebar, Move tool, bring it out, make it smaller so it fits this actual hinge part here, as you can see. And you can see that it kind of needs bending as well. So let's make it a little bit smaller first. And now let's try and bend it into place. But before I do that, because this one down here probably doesn't need bending as much, or might need bending more, I'm going to actually press Shift D and just bring in another one, like so. Now let's come to this one and let's bring that door back so we can actually see where we need to bend it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the question mark to bring everything back. 1 again. In fact, we'll be better off actually moving these into place before we actually bend them. So let's bring it into place like so. Let's press 1 now and we'll work on this top one. So let's click on it. Let's first of all rotate it. So R and X. So R and Y, rotate it round, and now let's bend it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab Alt, Shift and click these two. I'm going to come up to my proportional editing, which is this one here. I'm going to make sure this time it's on smooth. And now I'm going to move these back. Shift space bar again to bring in your move tool. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press G and just try and bring that circle in like so, just to bend it. Now you could do this with the modifier, the bend modifier, but because we're trying to follow actually this around here, it's probably not quite a bend or a uniform bend. So I'm just going to basically use this instead. All right, so let's have a look around if I can. So let me press the dot button just to zoom in. And let's have a look how we're looking with that. And I'm looking to make sure that it's quite even on both of the sides. Now, what we need to do is now we need to bevel this off. And we also need to bevel this one off, of course, but let's just get this one in place first. So let's come to this one now. I'm going to pull it up, try and get in some sort of place, like so. And then I need to bend it. So I'm going to come in, grab this one and this one. Still got proportional editing on. I'm going to bring it out, like so, just making sure that it's stuck in the walls. You can also rotate as well, so you can press R and Y and rotate it like that, just to make sure that's going in. And then let's pull this one out. So I'm going to grab it here. I'm going to rotate it again. So RY, let's rotate it and make sure it's in the wall like so. And yeah, I think I'm actually happy with that. Double tap the A, let's have a look. And that's looking absolutely fine. All right, let's join these two together. So Control J, join them both together. And now what we'll do is we'll bevel them off. So question mark, isolate them out. Let's come in and we'll take off proportional editing. We'll make sure our edge select's on. And you can do this in the UV panel, or you can go back into modeling, whichever you find easier. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go up each side now. So Alt, Shift and click, going up each of the sides. I'll do the same on here, like so. And then what I'm going to do is just simply going to press Control B, bring them in like so. And now you can see they're looking a lot more hinge-like. Now obviously as well, we need the top of the hinge bringing in. So what we'll do is we'll come to the top and the bottom like so. And we're going to just bevel those in as well. Oops, top of it. And then press Control B. And then what we're going to do is press Control B and pull those out. Like so, something like that. All right, double tap the A. Bring back our door. In fact, what we'll do is we'll go over to the modeling tab instead. Let's zoom in. So dot bond again. And now let's smooth these off. So right click, shade smooth. And let's come over to auto smooth. Double tap the A. Like so. And then just mess around with your auto smooth if you want them smoother or less smooth. And if you do want these beveling off as well, so these parts on here, then what I recommend you do is you press Control A, all transforms, right click, set origin to geometry, and now come over to your actual modifiers panel, add modifier, and let's bring in a bevel, and then that will smooth those off. Now the one thing you need to do is just make sure that you're basing it on the angle, because then it will make it easier and you won't end up with all these lines going around here. And basically now, if you bring it down, as you'll see, you can smooth it off to where you want it. So I think if I double tap the A, that yeah, I'm very, very happy with how that looks. Now the one thing about the hinges is they look a little bit dark, but that's because they're actually round and this is actually flat. When we take the render though, they should look absolutely fine. All right, so one of the last things that we need to do now, seeing as we've nearly actually finished this build, is we need to just check to make sure all our normals are facing the correct way. So I'm going to put an example down here what normals are, but to check that, all you do is you come up to the interlocking links, click the down arrow, and you'll see one that says face orientation. Click that on, and then that will show you where you've got all the problems. You can see we've got a fair few problems here with the door, with the steps. In that, all the normals are facing the wrong way. Also, this going around here. You must make sure that they're all facing the correct way. So let's now click on our rim first, and we'll do that one first. So we're going to come in, we're going to make sure we're on edge select. I'm going to grab the whole of the rim, like so, Shift N, and spin that round. Now I'm just looking to make sure none of the glass or this metal part is the same, and I think I'm happy with that now. Now let's come to our door and step. Those we can do together, so I'll click on my door, click on my step, press the tab button, A to grab everything, Shift N, spin everything round, and there we go. All right, so everything's facing the right way now. And then we can come up and turn off our face orientation. And you'll notice it's in a different place now. The only reason it's in a different place because I'm still in edit mode. And if you're not in edit mode, you'll see that if I come up, there it is again. So now you should see that it looks a ton better. Now, the last thing we want to do on here is we need some bolts. So what we'll do on the next lesson is actually bring those bolts in and finish off this door. And then we can start on our grass. Okay, everyone. So I hope you enjoyed that. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.